Hey gang, Ronan here. As you can see in this game, I'm playing the Tier 8 Premium US Battleship Massachusetts. And the last video that you saw here was me in the Montana. And as a DD main, you won't often see me in these videos playing battleships, but I went through a week a little while back where I just really felt like I wanted to do that. So I did, and I had a couple good games. Montana was one. Massachusetts, of course, which you're seeing now, I think was another good game. And there were a few others, but I still have probably between 15 and 20 videos that other people have sent me that I have managed to record into MP4 format, but not yet commentated on or narrated. So I really wanted to limit the number of battleship games that I tossed up here so that I can get right back to getting some videos of other people as well. So why did I find this game interesting? Well, for starters, it was really, really close, which you'll see. In terms of positioning, I like to play middle as much as possible when I'm in a battleship. You'll see that very often, at least in my opinion, very often battleship players will run for one side of the map or the other. And I think a lot of times it's because they think, well, I can avoid getting crossfired. I won't have enemies on two sides firing. Well, there's a certain amount of truth to that. But if you're playing center of the map, that doesn't mean you have to be in the middle of the Bravo cap, right? I mean, you can push over toward where the Georgia and the Heinrich are at right now, more or less, and put guns on pretty much everything that is in the game. Now, of course, different battleships have different range, and the range on the Massachusetts is not what I would call phenomenal. It's not terrible, but it's not phenomenal. This is kind of a meme ship, really. It's got pretty strong secondaries, which you can see that I've actually spec'd for it in this ship. I put a really good commander in here, and it's a fun ship to play, and actually it pays off toward the end of the game. I want to contribute here if I can by putting a couple shells on a Kagero. So many battleship players are just loath to fire at a destroyer because even if you hit it multiple times, your damage is going to be minimal. And I think a lot of battleship players think in terms of how much damage do I do rather than how much am I contributing to the possibility of a win. I'm really, really hoping to get the guns reloaded before Shores goes dark, but nope, didn't work out. I'm not sure if the Salmon had him spotted or our Asturias, but either way, was not able to get a shot. Now, the game starts fairly slow. You can see the Georgia there on the minimap. He's just running straight at me. I've thrown it in reverse, trying to avoid getting hit, and he just T-bones me. So, of course, I'm not going to shoot, make myself visible when I can barely move. So I'm going to just kind of wait until Georgia's free. Thought I might get a shot off on that cruiser again, but no, he went dark again. And so I'm just going to wait for Georgia to get out of the way. All right, now, remember what I said about battleships heading to the edge of the map. Georgia is actually going to do that. He's going to be on I think the 2 line for quite a while. And he just keeps pushing and pushing and pushing. I was thinking maybe I could drop some shells in. I loaded HE because I was thinking I might get a shot on a destroyer, but that didn't help at all. And in fact, I wasn't able to land anything on the cruiser that pulled back the island. So here we are, almost 4 minutes into the game. I've put a couple of shells in the air, but I have yet to hit anything. And it's easy, at least in my opinion, easy to get a little bit frustrated when things are going that way. But I recommend not doing that, because as long as your ship is still around, as long as your guns are still working, you can still contribute in a big way. Now, our Heinrich, no idea why he decided to do this, but he's just going to push in until dead. Wasn't able to land the big shot on Shores, but that's okay. You can see Heinrich ate a bunch of torpedoes there. He's down to 2,400 HP essentially. Gets off a shot. and he is able to finish off the shores. Now, why am I heading this way? Well, you can see that our guys on the other side of the map are, well, they're doing reasonably well at Charlie, even though the red team holds the cap. Our Jutland is pushing the Yager. Try again to get some shells over the island, although this time I went with AP. Hipper and Allende, well, Allende he just got clapped by the Colorado. They're doing a decent job of forcing the red team back on that side. Meanwhile, Georgia, as I mentioned earlier, he's on the 2 line. He's squaring off with a submarine. And that submarine is, of course, supported by a couple of cruisers. Now, I'm really hoping to get a big shot on Asturias here. And, you know, as he goes dark, I just kind of have to cross my fingers. I do manage to get a Citadel, 3 pens, and I pick up a little bit of damage there, but not enough. And Colorado now has finished off our Hipper as well. And the team that I said was, I thought, doing reasonably well is suddenly gone. And our Jutland is forced to fall back. You can see Mogami, Colorado are in position to get guns on Leon if he continues north. Their Yager is there. It's not looking good for Leon, and I'm thinking, man, I have to be able to help here. As our Jutland does finish off their Yager, which is a huge thing. But Asturias is able to finish off our Jutland. And right now, the side that I thought was doing reasonably well is gone. I mean, the whole thing is just gone. Now, Leon is pushing into the center. It's not going to last long there. This cruiser, the Provincian, he knows I'm here. He probably knows Maya is here. He does not want any part of that. So he's just going to throw it in reverse, and he's backing away. He's hoping for Asturias, Mogami, Colorado to go ahead and push south and start putting pressure on me that way. You can see that Leon is now taking fire from 2 sides. And I'm not going to be able to get a shot on this cruiser. I might get a shot on the Asturias if he doesn't go dark. I can almost get a shot on him. Just have to wait for it to get past the island. And of course, just as I get to that point, yeah, he went dark. So what am I going to do here? Well, I'm going to swing outside. Got plenty of targets here. And this is an opportunity for me to potentially, slow down whatever push that they intend here, whether it's straight from Charlie into Bravo or south toward myself and Maya. Now, our Asturias is pushing Provincian, and Leon is there to kind of, I guess, catch him. But Leon's taken a beating in order to be in that position. Got Mogami, Asturias, and Colorado is still out here as well. So now we're 8 minutes in. I've only landed 8 shells in the game. And I'm really just looking for an opportunity. Massachusetts is not fast. It's reasonably maneuverable, but it's definitely not a fast ship. And I finally get a decent shot on the cruiser and finish off Provincian. Our Salmon finishes off Kagero. We are down to 5 ships, and the bad guys still have 7. The secondaries are going to be able to get to work here, and I'm going to have to try and finish off this cruiser. I don't want to show broadside. Maya finishes them off. Asturias finishes off their Asturias, and just like that, it's 5 ships a team. I know I'm going to probably need one of these torpedoes, but I've got to get the shot. Trying to get the nose around. Almost 10k in damage. I feel like that was a decent trade to be able to get that shot on the cruiser. And here comes Colorado now. And Colorado, the player did a pretty good job, but if he gets much closer, the secondaries on the Massachusetts are going to be able to go to work.
Problem solved,
Just not my game for maintaining line of sight to be able to get shells out on things, but that's the way it goes. The I-56 on the red team finishes off our Asturias. And we are now down a ship again. And the red team right now has 133 point lead. as I eat a little bit of damage from Colorado. And I'm just waiting on him to come around the corner. He's doing a decent job of angling, and I'm showing a lot of side here, which is really not smart. But I do get off a good shot. I'm trying to get him into secondary range. And if I had gone the other way and just kind of run to the southwest, I don't think I would have gotten that opportunity. I want to get him burning with the secondary. And right now it's just me over here. It's 3 ships, myself, Iandracht, and Salmon. And the red team still has 5. We're down to 70 points, and the red team has 636 and counting. Iandracht is trying really, really hard to pick up the Bravo cap, which would help us a little bit. And I really kind of have to finish off this Colorado, and then look for a shot as quickly as possible on Mogami. You can see Mogami is coming back this way. I'm sure he's looking to finish off Iandracht. In the meantime, he's going to try and help burn me down. My secondaries are just chipping away at the Colorado. I'll try one more volley here on Colorado. Try and get him finished off, and then turn to Mogami. And I'm going to try and heal up here before too much longer. I think that shot's going to be wide of the mark. Oh, he's reversing. Can I catch him there? You would think so, right? It looked like I placed the shot reasonably well. 12,000. It's not nothing, right? But it's certainly not what I hoped. So I mentioned this was a close game. The red team has 4 ships. We're down to 3. We've got 8 minutes left in the game, and I really need to help finish off Mogami.
Problem solved, sir.
He is still trying to make use of the islands. You can see his torpedoes there. Maybe I can finish him this time. There's the citadel that I was hoping for the first time.
Enemy cruiser foundered.
And Iandracht is working to secure the Charlie cap. And I'm debating here. I was thinking about going north and intercepting things in the middle, but I changed my mind. Iandracht still has 23,000 some odd HP. I want him to be able to run, and I want to look for broadside targets. It looks to me like Zeton is coming south, and whatever just secured that cap, which is of course probably the I-56, I'm hoping to be able to get secondaries on at close range. But it's 3 ships to 3 ships. Iandracht has secured another cap for us. So we're down a lot of points, 480 points, but we do have a cap now. And in terms of ships, well, both teams with 3. Zeton, he's got a lot more HP than I do right now. But I'm going to try and burn him down. I figured he'd be angled if I saw him down here. First of all, he doesn't do anything. And knowing that the sub was almost certainly in the Bravo cap, I want to avoid sticking my nose out beyond the edge of this island that's on my starboard side. And it looks like he's going to show me broadside, so I'm going to go ahead and load up the AP and let the secondaries do some work here. I have to remember he's got fish he can put in the water, so I'm going to try and stay somewhat angled. Come on, guns, load, load, load. Alright, there's a good shot. I'll take that as I pick up the high caliber. Iandracht goes down to torpedoes from the I-56. It's me and our Salmon. And I'm guessing Salmon is still on the Bravo cap side of the island that I'm sitting next to. There are the torpedoes I was expecting.
We've spotted an enemy submarine.
And right now I'm just working to burn down the Z. Zeton is burned down, and this is where it gets really tense. Watch how close his torpedoes get.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
Here they come.
Torpedoes dead ahead. Torpedoes reporting.
Did you catch that? I'm going to reverse it and show you again. That may be the closest game, and I have one going way back. That was a 1 second increment. This might be less than that. Okay, so here they all come. Of course, shotgun blast from a sub-player. Big surprise. So I'm going to start eating torpedoes. I managed to dodge one. That was it. And look, there's 1.1 second here until this thing drops. And here come his torpedoes. Yeah. I was able to catch him with these things. I mean, you can almost reach off the bow and touch the torpedoes. Now, did I get him from flooding? Right? So this didn't quite land, but still, how close was that? And that was the game. He finished me off, but not before I finished him off. So it didn't have to be a sub versus sub game. Picked up the Kraken. And to that I-56 player, although I think the way Wargaming implemented subs is horrible, you did a great job. Okay, 190,000 damage. I'm feeling pretty good about that as a guy that doesn't play battleships a lot. 2,416 base XP. Hats off to Salmon, who came in just shy of that. Put shells on a lot of targets. This was a really fun game to play, and I feel like I did reasonably well in terms of credit and XP. I hope you enjoyed this. I really enjoyed the game. Thanks for spending a little time with me. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.